It's going to sound stupid. I know nothing about this game. Is there any form of power creep? Is there any form of power creep? If you know what it is, Destiny, I definitely know what power creep is, and yes, this game has power creep. Oh my gosh, does this game have power creep? Where do I begin? So I should explain this, Destiny Bound. This game, I think, is as old as I am. No, I think it's a year older. This game, I think, came out. No, this game came out in like 1990. This game is older than I am by a significant degree. So yes, this game has had a ton of power creep from where it originally began. Oh yeah, how to evaluate power levels of cards is really difficult. I have a friend who's learning Magic. I remember he's like, "Oh, this is a 6-mana lifelinker. It should be good." This is a 6-mana 4/4 lifelinker. It's horrible. Yeah, because power level references are obsolete. Yeah, it's hard to like tell how strong something is. This is why I like Draft, because it's all condensed. Like, listen, there's a lot of cards. In Draft, there are 200 cards you have to remember, but that's better than the thousands of cards. Like, so in case you're wondering, one of the themes is they altered standard, so it's the last 2 years instead of the last 1 year. Or like this last 2 going on 3 instead of the last 1 going on 2 years. Yeah. Bloomberg showed me a 3-mana 3/3 with upside in white and green. Yeah, no. There's a 3-mana where am I better than gray ogres? So yeah, green, that's a perfect example. So originally there was a red card that was a 3-mana 2/2, and it was okay enough. Now 3-mana 3/2, Vigilance, Haste, Valiant, works with the synergies with Mouse, works with the synergies of Soldier, like, and that's like the more aggressive card. Oh my god, how do I? This used to be 3-mana, just tap, add 1 mana of any color. Now it's also an Anthem effect that pumps up all of your creatures. 2-mana 2/1, playable. Now it has Offspring, so you can make multiple. When it dies, it deals damage to creatures, which has synergy. Lizard has synergy with other types. Warlock has synergy with other types. 2-mana 2/2, no abilities, is known as a Grizzly Bear, because Grizzly Bear was like the premium. You just need to play Grizzly Bears in your deck, because you need these 2-mana 2/2s. We have a 2-mana 2/2 with upside. This is one of the weakest cards in my deck. No one knows what a bear is anymore. Yep. And there's a key. That's why they made the King of Bears, to make everything a bear. But it doesn't lose all abilities. Y'all love me some power creep? I played PVC 2 since release 2. Did you know how broken the new... Plants vs. Zombies 2. Thank you. Do you know how broken the new plants are compared to the base game plants? Take the mints as the worst example, and Porkra, especially Porkra. Yeah, so to explain the way Magic Pope, when Magic first was released, creatures were very underpowered because they were like, these cards last for a while. They were like, but spells were extremely overpowered because they didn't know how good a one-time effect could be. So because of that combination, we ended up with a lot of super weak creatures in the beginning, and spells that had to get banned because they're super overpowered. Like, this is where Magic the Gathering came to existence. If you ever want to look up the Power 9, they are 9 cards that were so powerful. Oh, speaking of bans, the guy above me. Oh, I just see star, star, star. I didn't realize that was... Okay, if I'll ban the person. Thank you for letting me know. Where's the... Alright, I just have to ban it manually. Oh, thank you, moderator. Thank you, Focus. I appreciate it. I just saw star, star, star. I didn't realize they actually said anything more than that. But yeah, Power 9 is an example of the spells were overpowered at the beginning because they didn't know how to balance spells, and the creatures were underpowered at the beginning because they didn't know if creatures were valuable. As time went on, they realized creature combat is fun. That is where we have all of those cards on the board, and we're like swinging each other and trying to figure out how to interact. Is it time for me to attack? Should I hold up and attack harder later? All those sorts of decision makings, which we basically skip through because math is for blockers and we're attackers. So our opponents were making all the hard decisions, and we were making sure their decisions were bad. But anyways, that kind of combat is more interesting. So over time, they've made creatures much stronger and spells not as strong. I am good at math, so like I do like blocking, but like we are the aggressive deck. we force the math on them, and we know how to abuse when they're bad at math. I know that 78 times 12 is 936. They don't. You know, that sort of stuff. And know that, and yes, that was just a memorized example. Don't think I actually could do multiple like double-digit mathematics that quickly in my head. So that was just. All right. So as for the example of the what's it called? For example, Plants versus Zombies gain power creep. Pokra is a plant. Pokra is a plant where the max level can almost two-shot the strongest base game zombie. All that because arena mode scales the health of zombies, so the plants need to match that. Oh my gosh. So yeah, okay, so I will state, yeah, 59 times 482, go! Alright, Windows calculator! That's exactly what I would do. I can faster pull up the calculator than I could solve that in my head. So, sorry, Magic Pope, I am not that magical. But yeah, no, that's, okay, so that's the worst. Scaling for the sake of scaling. There is one important thing about the scaling in Magic the Gathering. 2-mana 2/2s, 2-mana cards are still generally speaking 2/2s. Even though they have all these interesting abilities, even though they have all this weird effects that you have to read for, 2-mana creatures are still generally 2/2s. We're not going to get 2-mana 4/4s. They have experimented with 2-mana 3/3s sometimes, and the general result is 2-mana 3/3s are too powerful. And if they're not just a vanilla 3/3s, it's like standard only, or okay, we'll state that. Because just thinking back, there is a 2-mana 3/3 in this format. It's double green. But like, that's where they'll peak. That's where it's like, this card is actively trying to force you to be aggressive strategy. It is specifically in green that they do the 2-mana 3/3s, because green 1-drops are generally not generally speaking, not aggressive enough to support that powerful 2-mana 3/3 to overtake the game early on. This Magic the Gathering, while it does have power creep, it generally does not overtake things the way that Plants vs. Zombies. That is stupid for things to scale, so everything else has to scale, so everything gets invalidated. This is more of, they figured out where their base of where they want power level to be, and what they will do is they'll say, hey, this archetype is weak. Let's push the envelope, and then when that rotates out, we'll just not have that envelope pushed for a while. And then let's push the envelope here, and then when that rotates out, this won't be pushed for a while. They don't like power creep, quote unquote. They do a lot parts of just like rotating around and moving around how the format's power goes. So that's how they do power creep. The Plants vs. Zombie 2, the leveling system breaks the base game. Having a pea shooter do 1200 damage at max level is stupid. Why? Because basic zombie has 800 HP. Yeah, exactly. The leveling system in Magic is you have to draw lands. As the leveling is as the game goes on. It's not like, I guess that's the thing. The reason I love Draft, everyone's at an equal playing field, but even in Standard, there's no card that says, hey, if you paid for the premium booster pack, you get a 1 basic land in the battlefield for free. They had that. It was called Companions as the most hated mechanic and got banned, and they were actively said, we are sorry. They actually said, we are sorry. This was a mistake. We will not do it again. So, yeah. Companions were a effect where if you meet a certain condition, it starts in your opening hand as an eighth card, as an additional card in your hand. Companions and Oko helped drive me out of the game. Yes, I respect that. I 100% respect that. Oko got banned. Thank good riddance. I have a lot of complaints, but my complaints are 3/3 elk with no abilities, so never mind. But yeah, Oko's gone. Companions are gone. The game is much healthier for it. I would say this is like, quote unquote, this is the healthiest time to get into the game because Standard just rotated. A lot of the things that really worried me about Standard got pulled out with it. I think the most important being Tri-lands, which made 3-color splashing very easy if you're willing to put 24 rares in your deck as your mana base, which I didn't like. I always hate Tri-lands in Standard. They belong in Modern, yes, because Modern is a different scale of power, but Standard it's not for. And I guess that's another thing Destiny bound. Formats rotate. So if there's something really powerful, it will eventually get pulled out of the game as Standard moves forward. If you want to play with that overpowered stuff, there's Modern, which a lot of people love. For this, there's Historic, there's Timeless, there's Vintage. And like back in Standard, So there's a format called Vintage, which is the only format where nothing is banned, and those games are something else. Oko got banned after 18 months of owning Standard. It was a little too late on my violation of goodwill. I respect that. A lot of people are feeling that way with Nadu. There's a reason I'm not going into Modern, and I do not intend to go to Modern, but I would suggest you look up Tolarian Academy, or no, Tolarian Community College has a video on why Nadu should be banned, and I think just looking at the final point where he points out the board state is, I think, where I think that was the best signal that Nadu should be banned. It's not a matter of, like it is powerful, but it's not a matter of power, it's a matter of health. What is this card? Okay, so, you know what? Let's finish up. We made this successful deck. It was awesome. Let's claim our rewards, and let's actually pull up the collection. Right. Sorry. I have to actually hit create a deck, and then say not collected cards, so I could show you. Nadu. Let's do Timeless, because that has all the cards. There we are. Nadu, Winged Wisdom. So, Nadu, Winged Wisdom. Flying, creatures you control have, when this creature becomes the target of a spell or ability, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a land card, put it in the battlefield, otherwise put it in your hand. This ability triggers twice each turn, but that is added to every creature. So, the way this works is you play this, and there's 2 mana. I'm going to type in Bestow because there's only so many Bestow creatures. Right here. You play that with Springheart Nektuko, which is whenever a land enters the battlefield, basically, a lot of texts to say when a land enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 creature. So what you do is you play Nadu, you Springheart Nektuko, you target with anything. You play a land comes into play, you get a 1/1. Then you play a card called Shuko, which all that matters about Shuko is it's equipment with equip cost of 0. You equip it to the 1/1, it triggers. Card in your hand. Equip it to the 1/1 again. Triggers for the second time. Card in your hand. If it's a land, comes into play untapped. And because the land came into play, get another 1/1. Do it 2 more times. And like what happens is you get to a point where you're just like drop, and then like all those lands are untapped. So if you get another Springheart Nektuko, you could play another one, 2 more triggers, plus another 1/1 that comes into play, and it just like, and you just like keep targeting it. And there's actually, again, Tolarian Community College has a picture of the board state that this combo makes, and they actually have to get like additional trackers for you to keep sense of how many things have been triggered by Shuko this turn, so that Nadu doesn't loop out. And the win condition is basically you draw your entire deck through that effect because it's not considered a card draw, so it won't deck you out. And then you have like basically a card that deals 1 point of damage or something like that. And then you have cards that shuffle your cards back into your library. You only need 1 or 2, and just shuffle and loop and shuffle and loop and just shuffle those cards to make your enter the battlefield triggers just keep triggering. And it's a infinite combo. But like here's the thing. One thing for an infinite combo, the problem with Nadu is it's an infinite combo. There's also a 3/4 flyer for 3 that if you kill, still draws you a card, and if they block the kill, draws them an additional card. And yeah, as you say, it seems kind of trivial to perform too, especially in Modern, where there's a bunch of cards that say, search your library for a creature card with mana value X or less. X is only 3. Put it into the battlefield. Instant speed. Called Court of Calling. I think Court of Calling is right here. Yep. Instant speed. You could tap Convoke says you could tap creatures to cast the spell. So if you already have a bunch of those 1/1 insects in play, those help you cast the spell. Search your library for a creature card with mana value X or less, put it on the battlefield. I forgot that card existed. Yep. This So that is the Nadu deck in a nutshell. I do not play Modern. Do not ask me for further understanding of how that works. I do not want to save this deck. I'm going to leave like this. I was thinking natural order, but that's not Modern. I think Natural Order may have got printed in Modern. Let me check. Select Timeless. Natural Order. Ah, cancel. Right there. Not legal in Historic, Traditional, Historic, or Brawl. Legal in Modern. Yep, Natural Order is perfectly legal in Modern. They reprinted it. Yep. So yeah, I don't play Modern right now. To be fair, I never really played Modern, but like right now, it's additional. People love Modern. I will state that people love Modern, but Nadu is toxic. Nadu has basically wrecked Modern for a lot of people. So now Pioneer is the main format people play. And I just stick with Standard, and I barely play Standard because I'm too busy doing drafts. So you also have Silver and Scrying? You do have Silver and Scrying. You are correct. So yeah, they have a lot. They have a lot. Magic Pope.